Flirting can save your marriage. All right, let's talk about something that might surprise you. Flirting. Yep, flirting can save your marriage. My social media manager didn't chat GBT this one. It's straight from the heart. If your relationship feels cold, disconnected, or even on the brink of divorce, sometimes all it takes is bringing back that playful spark. Let's break down why flirting works and how to use it to turn things around. In the beginning, flirting is effortless, right? It builds excitement, connection, and desire. Over time, life gets busy, stress takes over, and that playful energy disappears. Let's be honest, in the beginning of your relationship, you flirted a lot. You were good at it. You were so good at it, you were triggering those happy hormones over and over again, and until your partner decided, hey, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And so you triggered those happy hormones, because that's what we're doing. That's what flirting means. Flirting is, basically taking actions that trigger their happy hormones, that make them feel those good feelings, that make them want to be with you, that make them attracted to you. Does that make sense? Inside of that, there you were flirting with your partner. You were triggering their happy hormones, making them feel good. They felt good every time they were around you, and you felt good every time you were around them. And then something happens, right? Something happens and everything changes. And what changes really is that, maybe the dynamic shifts. Maybe now you've got kids, you've got mortgage, you've got bills, you've got miscommunications and mistakes that we both made. And then all of a sudden we stop flirting and we take all the flirting out. Guess what? Just because you've been together for a long time doesn't mean that you can stop flirting, right? You got to keep triggering those happy hormones, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. The triggering of the happy hormones is what actually makes people move toward each other. And the triggering of stress is what actually has people move away from each other, right? And so our job is to trigger those happy hormones in our partner over and over and over again. And the flirting is a part of that. And so what happens is, in a relationship where someone's been together for 5, 7, 10 years, 20 years, is at some point we stop doing those things that we used to do that triggered those happy hormones. And the reality is, instead of getting worse at flirting in a relationship, technically we should be getting better at flirting in a relationship. Why? Because you're learning what actually triggers your partner's happy hormones. What do they need? What makes them feel good or feel the best when they need that happy hormone, right? And so that's what the most important thing is to become better, to devote yourself in your life, because you've devoted your life to this person, right? To devote yourself to being the best person on the planet, an expert of triggering that happy hormone in your partner, such that nobody on the planet can trigger their happy hormone the way that you do, consistently and reliably. Does that make sense? So you get to go to work. We get to go to work on becoming a master of having our partner feel good, right? So if you know what your partner's happy hormones are, their primary drivers, as we call it, the things that drive them the most, the things that are most important to them, the things that trigger them the most, and then figure out ways to trigger those happy hormones over and over and over again, you now become their primary source of that happy hormone in another human being. And it pretty much makes your relationship bulletproof. So why flirting? Because flirting gives access to a bulletproof relationship. That's why, right? There's nobody else who's going to flirt better. Even if somebody tried, they could never flirt as well as you do inside of your relationship. They can never make your partner feel that they're getting more than what they need. They're getting more than what they need to feel good inside of, being with another human being. They're feeling good with you. And so that relationship now becomes bulletproof. It becomes extraordinarily strong. And so that's what you want to do. So learning what those happy hormones are, learning how to trigger them, learning how to make them feel good, continuing to do that throughout the relationship, even though there are dynamic shifts like mortgages and bills and children and all the other stuff, things, in-laws and all the other things that come up during that time. If you can still become someone who works on your skill set, which is triggering that happy hormone, your partner will always choose you as the bottom line and feel good about it. There are two types of unhappy couples. The unhappy couple that divorces and leaves a relationship, and then there's the unhappy couple that sticks around for a lifetime waiting for the other person to die. You don't want to be either one of these couples. You want to be the happy couple that just wants to live longer just so that you can have more time together. That's how I feel about my wife. I feel like I just want to live forever so I can spend more time with her. Does that make sense? And so you want your partner to have that kind of feeling, because you're doing such a good job at continuing to spark that in the relationship. relationship, you're doing such a good job at having them feel good that all they want is more time with you. And you can do that when you learn how to trigger those happy hormones. Now, here's a couple things that I want you to get about it. Flirting. When you get good at flirting, your flirting doesn't need to be grand gestures. People mess this up. They don't want to be grand gestures, these huge things. They can be huge things, but the things that matter, that are going to keep the relationship fresh, that are going to have your flirting be effective, is micro moments. Those moments where you are, giving them a tap on the shoulder, or kissing them on their neck as you pass by, or giving them the soft eyes as you say what you say. The moment where you look at them from across a room and you're with a smile because you're thinking about them and they know it. Those things are the things that make the difference inside of a relationship much more effectively. They're much more effective than those grand gestures. Okay, and grand gestures are cool too, but that's the stuff that's going to make a difference. And so when you learn how to do that, then you shift the relationship. Now, another big thing that you can do is what we call primacy and recency. What does that look like? It means that the first interaction, the first thing when they walk into the room, and the last thing when they walk out of the room, that you're leaving them peaked with that happy hormone. That's the job. You do that over and over again. Now, look, if you have a situation where your relationship's not going the way that you want it to already, and they're not giving you a lot of time, primacy and recency can really help, because you may only have a couple minutes with them where they listen to you, or you have just a few contact points. Well, make sure that the first moment is a very sharp moment where you trigger happy hormone, and the last moment is a moment where you trigger that happy hormone, where you're walking in high and they're walking out of that interaction high as well. These are things that I want you to do. And so here's what I want to say. Flirting is important, okay? At the end of the day, you want to flirt with your partner, become the best flirt with your partner. Have it be that you're such a good flirt with your partner that no one could even compete with you, because you're the world champion flirt when it comes to your partner, because you understand your partner better than anybody. So keep on doing the work that there is to learn how to flirt properly, how to trigger their happy hormones, how to make them feel good when they're around you. And I promise you that will go such a long way in your relationship. So many times we stop flirting because we've been together for so long. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we take our partners for granted. How about we don't do that anymore? How about we make sure that every single day our number one job, of course, we're out there grinding, we're doing what we have to do in life, but our number one job is to make sure that our partner is left bigger, or make sure our partner feels good, because that relationship's more important than any other relationship that you'll ever have, besides your relationship with your creator, if that's what you believe in. For me, that's what I believe. So besides that relationship, this relationship's most important. So invest in it daily, and the investment you can have is in triggering the happy hormone, flirting, getting good at leaving them feeling good and feeling attractive and feeling just good about themselves. In 90% of the cases, take on some of the things I'm talking about here. I hope they make a difference. If it does, comment below. Let me know. Of course, drop me a follow, subscribe for the channel, and I got more stuff coming your way. Talk to you soon.